Right, hello YouTube. Welcome back to more From the Depths. You joined us in the middle of a bit of testing. I've been working a little bit on this, the Sky Manta off screen. You might immediately notice a few things have changed. So the first is the tail, now coated with heavy armour to make it a bit more survivable. Although I have just realised I've forgotten to do the very end of it. So I'll very quickly reinforce that. Yeah, I wanted the tail to be a little bit harder to knock out. Bit of testing I did earlier showed it did seem to be a little bit vulnerable to being hit and destroyed. Yeah, but it's helping the cross steer quite a bit. Not really something we want. I'm testing against the Megalodon at the moment to see if the weaponry of the combined fleet is enough to actually punch through its defences if it's allowed to live long enough. And it seemingly is. It can actually break down the Megalodon's resistances. In fact, the one we're fighting is pretty much got nothing left on its top deck at the moment. And a lot of the damage comes from the second thing I've improved, which you probably can't see from there, but there's a fair few more missile tubes on this thing now. Yeah, just a few. Each one of those carries 4 of these missiles. I know, big Alpha Strike missile spam, but it works. You might also notice one of the other big changes. The cram cannons have been moved to the roof. I did a quick bit of experimentation with high angle fire, but it's, I think, just too far up in general, and it seemed to really be having trouble actually finding an angle it could fire at. So yeah. The last change is the addition of a new magazine at the front. It didn't really carry quite enough ammo for all these new weapons. So I've added a secondary magazine to make sure it carries enough. I'm going to reinforce it a little bit. But apparently it's still not enough because I'm still getting ammunition complaints. It'll have to be enough. I might try and set the missiles to salvo in a minute. So that they only fire when they're completely loaded. So they fire in little tight groups rather than individual streams. Hey! Well, that's a Megalodon destroyed. I've also set a very slight delay on undocking the ships we have, which should hopefully stop any collisions on spawn. Not 100% sure if that'll work yet, but... Alright, let's fix those missiles quickly. So one of the next things we'll need to do today is... Let's think. Probably the active defences. I'm not sure if we've got that much space for a laser anti-munition system, but we can always extend the central section. So we want a laser anti-munition system, and we want wing-mounted missile defense systems, and we'll want to add shielding of some sort onto this craft. I don't know exactly what sort, but we will want some. We've got some spare power to work with, so it's not like we haven't got the resources. Right, so, missiles. So they need to be set to salvo, and I want to set them to... Sorry, I thought something weird had happened there. P-view, so we can see everything. Let's control the missile system. Full salvo. Rather than continuous. Looks cooler, and generally because you get bursts, tends to work better at piercing defences as well, because they suddenly have multiple to deal with, not just one. Yeah, that's all the ones on that side done. They'll probably stop firing now anyway, because the enemy's dead. The missiles themselves are fairly simple. I don't know if I explained them last time. They do have, they're not the most agile, but they do have, like the counter jamming stuff on board, so they're less likely to be distracted by flares. I do still tend to lose about maybe sort of 50-60% of them on the Megalodon's flares, but the ones that get through are easily enough to do quite noticeable damage. I wonder if it is what... I tell you what, I might even expand the magazine a bit more, because I really would like to be getting the cram cannons firing constantly, because they also do quite noticeable damage when they actually get shots through. And they do seem to be reasonably good at piercing LAM systems. They're not completely immune. If that Meg focuses its entire attention on like one little salvo, it will knock them out, but that means its attention is not being focused on anything else. Like the missiles that we're also firing. Right, so what was next? Oh yeah, the wingtip defenses. So what I'm thinking is a low turret that sits like the same height as those, that has small missile interceptors on it. Might have a few of them on each wing. It's going to be ammunition heavy, this craft, but that's fine. It's already a carrier, it's going to be a supply hog. And it'll have the defense systems built into it as well. In fact, might have the defense systems poke up just above the engines. Right. I don't want a... I don't even know that we need to identify friend or foe, but we will add a staggered. I'll tell you what, actually, does it say? Ah, yeah, no, that sounds like we do. I think need that, but anyway. Not the worst thing in the world to have, even if we don't, they're not that expensive. Right. We'll keep these small-ish so they can reload nice and quickly. No, I mean, they just don't need to be big anyway. Oh, I found out a few things from you wonderful people in the comments, about sort of things I was thinking about. The laser thing for piercing smoke, that is a component that was in the game a while back. It is not now. Apparently what you do now is stack up more armor piercing modifiers. And that is something I'm going to keep in mind when we do redesign the Sky Rays. And we are indeed going to redesign the Sky Rays we're carrying, specifically for a carrier variant. We'll give them more powerful missiles. We'll give them the regulators that allow them to ignore jamming more easily. Few bits like that. We'll increase the armor piercing on the lasers. We'll get rid of the tail, the tail fins. Maybe swap them out for a drumstick style thruster like that one, if they still need the extra control. Yes, that's the current idea. Right. These missiles are going to be nice and simple. They're going to be... Oh, crikey, they can have quite a lot of them, can they? Actually, yeah. Can we just do just the launchers then? If we can make them even cheaper, that's excellent. Oh yeah, we totally can. Fuel tank. Where is it? Missile interceptor. What's the flight time on these things? Not much. 10 seconds. Damage to small, medium, and large missiles. Reasonably good, actually. That's not bad damage, actually. Right. Now on the back we have a connector. Oh. A wireless receiver. On top of this we have actually another one of those, and then we go... That's level? That's well, it might not be quite above those then, I don't want to make it... Actually, yeah, we'll make it a bit taller. It looks a bit strange, but that's fine. Munition warner on all sides. Probably going to die if it's hit anyway, so I won't worry too much about defending these parts, so we'll just do a little alloy collar. But we will do a bit more of a metal box around these. Especially the front where the actual mechanical parts are. It's a strange looking turret, but it should work. Oh, actually, hang on, that should probably be 4 meter beam. It's a lot tougher. Yeah, we'll back up like that. Consider this slightly odd geometry, but hey ho, it should work. Can't imagine this will again withstand a hugely powerful hit anyway, but the point is more just to protect it a little bit against chaff hits. Okay, worry about that. Right. Save, this will be, what do you call it? Light. Yeah, light. And, no, actually be like CRAM, wouldn't it? CRAM turret. Technically, I know it's like rolling airframe missile or whatever, and it's not a proper CRAM because it's not firing that type of missile, but it's like the real world missile launcher turret that targets other missiles that some warships use. Actually, yeah, we need to actually do symmetry and actually also include this one. These are going to be only on top of the wings because obviously we don't have space for them below the wings because we've got the other missile launchers mounted. 2 of those enough, or do we want more on the outer wings? And it's already expensive craft. Go on. Some out here as well. I don't want to make this thing more than maybe... We'll maybe set a soft cap of 3 million resources for this thing. Mostly because we don't have a refinery technically that could build one of these if it gets too expensive. Right, let's launch a Megalodon and let's see how our missile interceptors do. We may also need munition warners on the rear of the ship, on the underside of the ship as well. Okay, that was less good. That was an entire wave of missiles deflected there. Actually, was it? Oh, maybe not. I wonder if it would be worth sending some regular missiles their way, like give them the regular guidance, but give them interceptor warheads to literally actively attack decoys like that. Yeah, tell you what, let's try that. Let's do a quick... a bit of a specialized weapon, but... Right, so we'll go... We don't need too many of these, or maybe only have it like be like a triple launcher. Oh. And what we'll have it do is medium missiles. These will still have missile seeker heads, on the side set to heads, but they'll have short range thrusters for high flight speed. Yeah, they are very fast. Lifetime 20 seconds. What's their flight seconds? Yeah, we can have more fuel tanks. Right, the second set of fins, more fuel tanks. Right, I don't know if it's still flying its decoys, but... Yeah, next question is, will they... Oh, they're flying after the ones behind us. I was going to say, are those actually working, but I'm seeing missiles behind us blinking out of existence, so I'm going to say yes. They are now targeting the Meg. Let's watch these things fly. They should be very, very quick if they've got the fuel to go over there. But yeah, this is a... If this works, this could be quite a big thing, because if we can quickly... Because these are faster as well than the other missiles. Hit their decoys and disable them. Then that greatly improves the accuracy of the entire fleet's missiles. Flight time limits may be an issue. Not that we couldn't do something like this on the Sky Rays as well, potentially. I might also do a respawn and restart the fight to see if that initial pair of decoy launchers is knocked out. Okay, let's throw all vehicles. I think we saved it. If we did, we'll armor it up and... Didn't screw that up. Excellent. We'll armor it up and... Oh, I didn't save it. God dang it. Okay, that's fine. We can recreate it quickly. Map this one. Actually, it could be... Actually, we might make these static launchers and put these in the center of this. Have a few more of them. Because even if they're not used for knocking out decoys, they're still useful, you know, obviously. I might make them a bit longer so they've got a bit more cruise range and they can work at a distance. Even if that means they fire a bit less often, but we can always set their fire rate to be a bit lower as well. So do a staggered fire. A friend or foe, and I'll quickly set the stagger to like 1. One of these a second. Yeah, if we go like that, and then we can mount them with the engines for a bit of protection. I guess missiles are very much turning into this thing's main weapon, but of course we do still have those crams too. Right. So these are going to be short range thruster. We want them fast. Fuel tank, 1 turn. Prediction guidance. I don't know, does having the extra munitions help with... Missile set to hang up. Does it actually help particularly? Target missiles specifically. Right, so we have flight time. Restoration is 16 seconds. Let's actually get that all the way up to the full lifetime of the missile. 19 seconds, yeah, that's okay. Actually, if we... Yeah, 1 second start delay. Because we want that anyway, because we're going to use ejector launches. There we go. So, damage. So if we... Ejector frag, does that affect the damage? Not especially. So we could even do, Isn't there just, like, body somewhere? Reinforced body. These things hard to lock. Oh, you know what we could also do? If we actually added, might even be better, if we add flares on this ourselves, it will actually draw missiles into itself as well. Okay. This is a weird hybrid missile, but okay, this is what we're going with. So we've got those. Restoration. Let's add the ejectors and then set them up on the other side as well, and then give it a try. Oh, active decoy. We've made I just realised we've made anti-radiation missiles basically. These are like a real. I completely forgot about this until a second ago, but these are like a real concept. They no, these want to be continuous. Actually, just fire when ready. Oh god, what am I doing? Missile. Yeah, so the idea of these is you launch them. I think there's something called seed missiles as well. You launch them at a distance to where you think the enemy has... Oh. Oh, we... Oh, it hasn't... Oh, come on. Symmetry wasn't on. Okay, that's fine. We'll prefab it. Oh, but yeah, you launch it towards where you think the enemy has... anti-aircraft radar, or SAM sites, or any kind of radar-guided weapon. Basically, it's usually air defense specifically, though. You can launch it for quite a distance, and they'll cruise in. And then if the enemy's radar's on, if they don't work out what's going on and turn it off quickly, it'll seek in on their radar and hit the radar itself, kind of thing. So you can use that to sort of knock out their defences without having to actually get within range of them. And we've kind of made an equivalent of that, I suppose. So in our case, it's designed to hunt down their decoys, which is a little bit weirder, but... Like we know the enemy has decoys powerful enough to intercept our missiles. We'll build something designed to hunt their decoys. Could also put one on the underside of the wing, but we'll see how these do. Those reinforced bodies, they should be fairly resilient to getting shot themselves. Oh, you know what we do need, I think? I think we need local weapon controllers to actually run these. I specifically do not use all-in-ones on missiles, so that they'll just fire at any angle. I think you can set them to ignore the angle anyway, but it's quicker just to add these. No wireless receiver. Right. Even if probably slightly more expensive. Right. Megalodon at some distance. Oh, we haven't got God mode or whatever it's called on. Some damage is happening, but that's fine. That allows us to test things. So in theory, these are coming to attack the decoys. Yes, and they did. A little late, perhaps, but I just realised, have they got one turn? Have they not got one turns on them? They might not, actually. Does it say the crown cannon's not going to fire? You might get to see what I mean about the Seawiz here as well. If it focuses on this shell, it'll probably knock it out, but because with the carrier we've got so much in the air. Oh no, it's focusing it. Oh, did not kill. Oh, look at that damage. Look at that. That was on the Megalodon, the craft we've had so much trouble with, and it just donk. It hasn't actually done anything critically damaging, but it's punched through it. Okay, here comes another wave of decoy hunters. No, actually, I think they're hunting the launched missiles. Oh, at a deflect. I thought you guys had inertial fusing. No, they've got pendant fuses, right? So that's our decoy hunters. I see. it hit them and actually bashed them backwards. That's not quite right. Those are meant to be being knocked out when they're hit by these. Is that a case of we need more damage? They're very heavily reinforced, I suppose. That probably helps. Yeah, we didn't add extra explosive. Is there a way to add multiple missile interceptors? No. Yeah, do they have one turns? Because I think we've set these up slightly wrong because they're meant to go... Suddenly, 1 second. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, no, those are launches intended. I wonder if it's worth setting a delay on our main missile so that these things could reach decoys first. It's set like a 1 second delay on launch from our main missile so that these are in the air hunting decoys before the others get that far. Also, what is going on with the colouring on them? What is this about? Oh, is it because they're flares, I guess? Are they still out of range? A 20-second flight time? They're still out of range? Okay. How far off are we? 2,000 meters? Not that far. Oh, good hit to the turret. You know what part of it might be? It might be because we don't have, aside from the fact we're actually getting shot back at and we're not really, our armor isn't even finished, it might be because we don't have munition warners on the underside of the craft, so when it's flying, I don't know, upwards angle, which it often is. It's not picking targets. So that might be another thing to fix. Oh, I think we're going to get another good hit. Yeah, the crams are doing great. They seem to be able to hit somewhat reliably. They're definitely able to punch through its armor whenever they hit. Like, there's no ifs or buts on that. They do just punch through its armor. No denying we're losing this fight, but we're getting to somewhere. I think by the time those themselves have been improved, and also the Manta's done and has its defenses in, we might see something that could potentially hurt one of these things properly. I think that was another hit as well. Yeah, I'd say so, judging by that hole. Just a shame it didn't hit anything valuable. Oh, you missed the magazine by an inch. By an inch, I mean a few meters, but still. Decoy Hunter's out. Are they going to hit it? There's a whole bunch of them there. Oh, that's probably missiles from the Sky Ray. Oh, that was all them little mini missiles. Did they knock a bunch of each other out there? What happened? Oh, okay, I see. Its own LAM system is actually trying to counter our interceptors. So the more stuff we're throwing at that LAM system, the more power it's burning and the more it's having to do. It's interesting that the little ones are chasing them, though. I'm not entirely convinced our seed missiles are working quite as intended. They are meant to be on... It's probably a thing of, again, they can't pick targets. Do a destroy all and a reload. But they do seem to be having some turning issues. They are supposed to be on one turns. They should be launching, twisting in the air to get on target and then flying off. So it shouldn't be an issue, but unless I've set something up wrong. Hang on. Short range thruster with 1 second activation delay. Max duration. Oh, max duration 5 seconds. Oh, that would be part of it. Even if they've got the right thrust duration, they're not able to fly for all of it. Right, okay. Right, so set to a variable thruster with maximum speed. That'll help a bit. I mean, they're actually burning for the full time. They've got thrust duration time longer than they actually need to fly for. We could even potentially swap some of it out. Yeah, why not? We'll swap one out for another reinforced body. Assuming it's still got enough flight time. Yeah. Reinforced body. Yeah, okay. So that'll help as well. That'll make them harder to shoot down. It's Warhead, isn't it? Okay. So we want those as reinforced bodies. We want missile warners on the underside where... Or munition warners on the underside into the craft in general. Yeah, where's the best place for these? Maybe one on the side, built into the hull a little bit. Again, built in a little bit so it's not in the way of other components. We are on symmetry here, right? Yes. It's a bit hard to tell because the craft's so wide, we can't actually see the other end of it. Or not easily, anyway. Munition warners on the side. I believe these could be pretty much bricked in. Fine. Stability changes detection. Oh yeah, stability's in. Yes, that's going to be another issue because we're high up, we're fast. Let's also have some pair of nodes under the wings. I think would be the best place for them. What is that? Oh, it's the passive sonar, not passive radar. So if we mount them, say here. Taking out a few little wing pieces, but that won't make a huge difference to handling, I can't imagine. There we go. Defense munition warner. Hang on. Defense munition warner, we'll get the widest field of view possible. And between them and the turrets and the ones on the wing tips, that should be enough. Right, now let's Set you to God mode, so it can't be destroyed, and run a second test. I know we're using the Megalodon at getting a lot, but A, I'd like to actually destroy it someday. Oh man, it is a lot cheaper than I'll ship her. B, it's a good test subject, frankly, because it is so tough. It's like, if you do not get it right, your setup won't work, basically, so... Okay, those are the... Yeah, those are the decoy hunters. They also have their own flares and whatnot. Although, to be fair, yeah, the slight issues that some of them might go after the missiles it's launching. I'd prefer if they... Oh no, I think they are going the right one. Yeah, as I said, I prefer if you went for these two specifically. Hey, got him. Yeah, and some of that strike... Oh, a huge amount of that strike has come back around again. Oh, that works perfectly! That's exactly what I was wanting it to do. Oh, and the big strike's coming in as well. Look at that. 5% damage on a Megalodon in one salvo. By the time you combine everything. That works exactly as intended. Okay, that's kind of cool. That I like. Oh, look at it. It's got its own little interceptors in the air. Now, we do, of course, have to live long enough to get a second good volley on it like that. But that's a really good start. I really like how that's working so far. Q-launch decoys will find ways to counter them. Oh, there's our own little ones chasing after it. Even they're coming in. Hey, and its little missiles have been... its things have been knocked out. Time for what looks like a second wave to come in. Ah, perfect. And of course, this won't just work on the Megalodon, it'll work on anything with those towed decoys, and we know the Steel Striders use loads of them. We've seen even the submarine uses them. It won't work against torpedoes, but we could use the exact same methodology against torpedoes if we build sea torpedoes, basically, or anti-radiation torpedoes, I guess, or anti-sonic torpedoes, I suppose? Anti-sound torpedoes? Look at that. Okay, that's not so great. Yeah, there is a bit of problems with the Skyrays crashing into each other again. AI adjustments may be needed. It might even be prudent to have maybe like ship numbers like 1 to 4 in the wing, and then like have them all set to be operating at slightly different altitudes, even if that's the only difference between the ships themselves. But look at that. I can't believe how well that worked. It actually did exactly what it was meant to. Not sure it has worked this time. Oh no, there it goes. Yeah, and these are turning around to come back again at it. Those ones have actually successfully turned and come back for it. These might have run out of fuel, but the idea is there. And more importantly, the waves from the Skyrays have made it through. We could even potentially swap those out for torpedoes, but I think considering the decoy thing has worked so well, I think we'll leave them as missiles. We could potentially add torpedoes as well, but I don't want to completely overload this thing. It is expensive. It's about 2.5 million resources. Man, people are not kidding at all when they say about the Megalodon's armor. I mean, look at this thing. It's just metal. There's no moving parts inside this thing apart from the turrets. It's still trying to defend itself. It's still alive, but... at this point, it is basically disarmed. I don't even see it firing. Oh no, it's sort of still working. Or maybe not after that. Well, not very well, anyway. Looked like one deflected, one hit. Their smoker's down as well, or at least it's damaged, so the lasers are also picking up and damage a little bit. Of course, part of it is helping is that there's 5 targets here. Even if the Meg focuses 1, that is leaving a lot of potentially dangerous targets alive to fight. But yeah, I think I'll call it there. I think as we can see, though this wasn't quite what I planned, adding those little seed missiles, they've really worked. I don't know where those ones are going, but are they coming around to hit those missiles? Sure. Those tried to defend, but didn't do quite so great there, but... yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot overall, though. I think it's not done yet. Obviously, the Manta needs its armor, among other things. It needs decent EMP protection, because there are still some EMP rounds getting through to it, and it doesn't particularly have any of that at the moment. I think there's just a little bit on the AI, so some shock absorption, or whatever they're called, hard points would be a good idea. Surge protection, that's the one. Not shock absorption. Shock absorption's suspension. But yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this episode. I'll see you guys all again in the next one. Oh, and if you didn't see, last episode, I put some of the craft up on the workshop. So if you want to mess around with our campaign craft, the Manta's not there yet, but most of the rest of the good ones are. If you want to go check that out, feel free. You might enjoy them. Goodbye.